Has an Exit podcast with host Teddy Tarantino. New episodes every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern. Don't forget to subscribe.
All right, guys, welcome to Hell Has an Exit. Today is a very special day. I have Sammy the Bull here. Welcome, Sammy.
My pleasure, my pleasure.
Yeah, so I'm just going to give you a little background on the podcast. This is Hell Has an Exit. So I interview a lot of people who have changed their lives, people who have been to hell and came out. You definitely qualify to be here, absolutely. I just want you to know I have a lot of respect for you. I appreciate you doing this. I know, you don't have to do this. And just meeting you, you're a very humble man. And I know that, you could be doing a lot of other podcasts. And I'm, humbled to be here just to speak with you.
Yeah, no, you have a good background. My daughter speaks very highly of you guys. And, you seem to have a great team. We've been around talking to each other a little while already. And you got a great team, and I'm ready to go.
Yeah, awesome. So I was doing some research as much as I could, and you got your name basically because some older kids stole your bike, and you got it back from them, and you beat up a couple of the older kids, and they said, wow, that kid fights like a bull.
Yeah, we were broke. My family was broke, and finally I wanted a bike in the worst way. My father bought me a Swin. Back then it was very expensive. It was probably one of the most expensive bikes you can get. And he told me, says, we don't have a lot of money. Take care of the bike. If you lose it, you break it, you're not going to get another one. And I loved it, and I hugged them, kissed them, and I went out with the bike. I went to the store. I left it outside. I went in the store. When I came out, it was gone. And I was sick. I mean, I was just... and a couple of days later, my friends came running to me and said, Sammy, the bike is down the block near the fruit and vegetable store. Right across the street from that was a bar. There was older guys, mob guys would hang out there, and I'd see police cars, guys shooting crap in the street. And when I went down, there was my bike, and there was kids who were a little older, 2, 3 years older than me, and they had my bike. And I told them it's my bike. They wouldn't give it to me. I grabbed onto it. One of them hit me, and I fought like crazy. I was crying, bleeding, fighting. One of the guys came across the street, and he said, what's the matter? What's going on? So I said, it's my bike. He said, Jerry and Kay. Jerry's your father and Kay's your mother, right? They knew who my mother and father was. And I said, yeah. And they said, what's your name? I said, Sammy. And the kids said something. It was their bike, and I wouldn't give it up. So they told those other kids, the older kids, go get your father. If it's your bike, get your father, bring your father here. Otherwise, it's his bike. And they gave me the bike back. Of course, it wasn't their bike. They took off and didn't come back. And one of the other guys from across the street near the bar yelled out, what's going on? He says, it's Jerry and Kay's son, Sammy. You see the way he was fighting those kids for this bike? He fought like a little bull. That name stuck. I mean, then my friends started making fun of me. I hated the name because they were making fun. I'm a bull and all this bullshit. But but it stuck. And when I got older, when cops were looking for me, they would come looking for Sammy the Bull. The name Sammy came, actually, my name is Salvatore Gravano. So it came because my uncle's name was Sammy. I looked a little bit like him, I guess, as a kid. And they would call me Little Sammy. So my name Sammy came like that, and then Sammy the Bull. And everybody started calling me that, cops, everybody.
And your family's from Sicily?
Both of them are from Sicily. My mother came over as a young girl, a baby, basically. My father came in through Canada. His older brother, was in Canada. He was a mafioso in Sicily. During Prohibition, he set up in Canada. They were bootlegging booze. They were bringing it in to Oregon, and they landed a base over there right next to the Bull River, and they would distribute it on the West Coast. Then they would distribute it on the East Coast. It would come down Hudson River to the Fulton Fish Market, and it would go into speakeasies. So he told my father, jump ship in Canada, and I could smuggle you into the country. I got all the connections in the world. And that's how they got my father in. By that time, my mother was older. They met, and They got married, and they had 5 children. My brother, Frankie Gravano, died before I was born. My sister Jeannie had a twin. One of them died before I was born, so I had my sister Jeannie and my sister Franny and me were alive. And I lived in, they were living down in Mulberry Street, Elizabeth Street or something like that. And then they moved to Brooklyn when I was born.
What was the Mafia like in Sicily back in the day? Because it wasn't like looked at how as it is now before, people came here to America, right? Like in Sicily.
Well, the Mafia started in Sicily and Sicily only. And it started off before it was the Mafia. They were clans. People invaded on these small wooden boats, 50, 100 men at a time. So they stayed in Sicily because there was no law enforcement there, very little. But they wanted to attack Rome where the money was. But they didn't have enough. Rome was powerful. So they didn't have enough men, so they would land in Sicily and they'd invade that part, waiting for more and more ships and more men. And they did a lot of things, abused the Sicilians. Like I said, they didn't have police. What they did is the men had have the woman go on the side, and they became clans. And one guy was the head of the clan, and he would, the brothers and cousins would get together, and uncles, and the neighbors. It was a small village, so they were all like family, and they would all get together with this one guy. And I remember a story where one of the guys, I don't know who the guy was who was in charge of the clan, but they went to him and they said 2 soldiers robbed, and I'm using a fictitious name, Giuseppe's daughter last night. They raped her. So he said, who did it? And they pointed out these 2 soldiers. And they came to a conclusion, we have to kill these soldiers in an extremely brutal way, otherwise we can't protect our women and our children. And they did. They killed them in a brutal way. They cut their cock off and stuck it in their mouth.
Wow.
To make the other soldiers realize that if you do this to our women, this is how we're going to react. The next day, supposedly, they called the whole village out, and they took 10 people, men, women, and children from different families. And they said, if you don't tell us who did this, we'll kill all 10 of these people. Not one person said anything. Their mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers were in the thing. They knew that was their family, and they knew who did it. But not one of them said anything. And they killed all 10 of them. You went back to the military forces that were there. No matter what you do to these fucking greaseballs, they're going to kill you. They won't even give it up. Even watching their own children being killed, they won't give up who did it. So it kind of like pushed the soldiers away, where they became a little cautious of doing something. They knew that there would be a retaliation. And these clans eventually became Cosa Nostra. Cosa Nostra means our thing. We protect our people. It was a protective thing. They were honored. They were men of honor because they lived and died to protect and the community and stuff like that. Nothing illegitimate. And Cosa Nostra became the word Mafia. And it started in Sicily and then grew to other parts of Italy. And then during the war and everything else, it migrated into the United States and different countries all over the world.
When did it start to be like profitable, where it became more of like a business as well in Sicily?
I would say probably in where it really started making money is during Prohibition in the 20s. When Prohibition came into play. You know, the Mafia has a talent to know what the public wants. And we always try to supply it. We feed into that. Unions became a big thing for us because we were able to control masses of people who be unions. Religions, they were very religious, Catholic religion. They took the Catholic religion, and they had relationships with popes and the church. we'll go back to World War II. They had a relationship with the Jews, the Jewish people. And the Jews were being killed by Hitler. And Mussolini, who was in charge of Italy, had a relationship with Hitler.
Mm-hmm.
And they were forming an alliance. Most of the Italian people didn't want that. They didn't want to become that.
And they didn't like Mussolini. No, they hated him.
They
right?
hated him
like
because of that relationship he started to make with Hitler.
Mm-hmm.
And the Mafia hated it altogether. So there was fighting back. And I remember stories that I've heard and I've read some of them is that they went to the Catholic Church and they told them, we're smuggling Jews out of Germany and certain places, and we're making them dress and act like little Italian kids, and we're shipping them out on ships.
The Mafia was doing this?
The Mafia was doing that. And they asked the church for help. The church refused to get involved in the thing, and their tightness, their closeness broke up a little bit. They resented the church not trying to help do this. They continued doing it anyway. Mussolini saw what the Mafia was doing in Sicily. He put someone, I can't think of his name, in charge of law enforcement in Sicily, and they've arrested thousands of fucking people who were affiliated with the Mafia. Some of them they killed, some of them they put in prison. They were trying to break it up because they knew that that was the organization that was hurting them in the country, hurting Mussolini. Mussolini made that whole thing happen. Matter of fact, Lucky Luciano, he had a 45-year sentence, and he was in prison. And they all hated it. They reached Lucky Luciano in prison. He dealt with the American government. He talked about the piers in the United States, leave them open, don't bother the piers. And he reached out to Italy and opened up the piers over there for our forces to invade Italy and let them in. Let them win. Let them stop fascism. Let's put down Mussolini and help them kill.
So while in prison, he's helping American forces get rid of all this stuff.
Without a doubt. And there's a record of that because eventually when the war was over, they released him early for his cooperation in the war. So there's history on all of that. But the only thing, they didn't want him to stay in the United States. So they said, we'll let you out, but you have to go back to Sicily and stay there. And that's what he did. But the Mafia was involved. The Mafia was involved with the government for so many different issues for such a long time. But that was one of the big things, and they grew stronger. If you remember, there was Senate committees and everything that the head of the FBI, Hoover, said there's no such thing as a mafia. I think the whole world knew there was a mafia.
Yeah.
And so you could see the relationship and that they had in Cuba with the Cubans and everything like that with Castro. They came to the mob to kill Castro. And so there was the CIA talking with the Mafia to kill him. Sam Giancana.
Yeah, so they kind of see you as like a scapegoat that they use when they need to.
Yeah. Well, listen, it goes on now. I talk about it all the time. I really don't want to get political, but, you know, they do certain things all the time to start a war. Again, I don't want to get political, but look at this thing in Ukraine and Russia. I mean, everybody has a point. I think Ukraine is wrong. They wanted to join these forces to put troops right on the border. Now, the border isn't like in different countries. The border in Russia, you're 100 feet away from them. So I could understand why they don't want tanks and missiles pointed at them 100 feet away. We wouldn't want that in Mexico or Canada.
Yeah.
We stopped it in Cuba under Kennedy. So I could understand their point. But he fought them, and that started that war. And And now they're dragging it out. And we're sending billions of dollars there. Now, if you look at that, nothing makes sense. I just saw what went on in Hawaii to the Hawaiian people. They're Americans. And President Biden said, I'm going to give every family of 4 $500. They lost their house, their cars, their clothes, their jewelry, their medicine, and they're in the street. The fuck are they going to do with
$400?
$500 with a family of 4. And in the meantime, we sent $100 billion to Ukraine. I don't know how, these things, again, I don't want to get political.
No, I totally get it, but
me up with all these things.
I mean, when the underboss of the mafia is saying, these people are corrupt, it's got to be bad.
Well, yeah. I think the same thing happened with Trump. Took a video that I did, and I think he had a point. Who better to say if he was corrupt? I was a heavyweight mobster when he was running, building, and I became the underboss of the most powerful organized crime family in the country. I was running businesses, I was running unions, and I tried to get into his pockets. It wouldn't work. He wouldn't go for it. So my guys, after a while, said, Sammy, why don't we just go the fuck up to his office? So I said, everybody around him is ex-FBI guy, and we'll go up there and we'll make our little threats, and we'll be in jail in 5 minutes. So fuck him. He's a legitimate guy. Let's go forward to the Tishmans and everybody we're dealing with. Forget about him. Now, he took that. He heard me say that.
Yeah, I saw he reposted that.
He reposted it under his thing, under his Instagram. It got 10 million hits. I was completely shocked. I was blown away with the whole thing. But he's smart. Who better to say that he wasn't corrupt than somebody who is corrupt?
Not just that, it can make you really popular. I'm sure a ton of people would love to hear that, or would even offer you tons of money to say that you did something illegal with him. And it's like, you have no fight in, dog in the fight to say he didn't do anything illegal and he couldn't. No,
I was telling a story that was the truth. I said it a year ago and nothing happened. I said it again, and he put it on his thing, and it went viral.
Yeah.
But I had no knowledge of that, nothing to gain. There's part of that video, and I was talking about when I went to prison and came out. I was in my son's restaurant. My son was there. My daughter knows about it. FBI came down and saw me, and they told me about Steve Wynn, that he has casinos and this and that. And I said, oh, yeah, all right. What about it? They said, if you could tell us something that Trump did illegitimate or he was hooked with the mob, he won't be able to open casinos in Vegas, and in Jersey, Atlantic City, probably lose his license. I said, but I talked about it before. I tried to get into him, and he wouldn't bite. So I don't know if, I never did anything illegitimate with him, and I don't know if any other mafia guy did. I think I would know that.
Yeah.
Because if somebody had a connection with him, I could always reach them. Maybe he don't want to talk to me, but he'll talk to Joe Blow. So I told him, no, I really don't know. He says, well, Steve Wynn would be very, very happy if you told a story about Trump. But I just told you that...
they're pressing you to say something.
Yeah. So I says, he's a really wealthy guy, Steve Wynn. Yeah. So let me ask you guys something. If I say something, I'll have to lie. How much money would I get? Well, you could get a job. A job? I don't need no job, bro. I need money. And could I get a position in this casino? He said, you'll get a job. No, fucking a job. What are we playing, marbles? I don't want a job. I want to be a boss in the casino or a partner. We're talking billions of dollars between the two of them. And you want me to lie. I say, we're agents. We're not going to say lie. Well, what are you going to say? I told you I don't know about anything he's done illegitimate. And I don't know anybody who did anything with him illegitimate. So you're asking me to do what? If it's not a lie, what do you want to call it?
Storytelling, yeah.
storyteller or whatever. So, no, Sam, we can't mention the word lie. All right, then mention whatever you want to mention, but I told you over and over again, I don't know of him doing anything illegitimate. I never did anything illegitimate. So tell Steve Wynn to go and fuck himself.
What do you think is the biggest misunderstood thing about you that goes on? in today's day?
Misunderstood?
Yeah.
You know, it's maybe I'm a different type of gangster. You take the worst gangster like a Roy DeMeo became a serial killer.
Mm-hmm.
Gas Pipe became a serial killer. There's bad in any group, in every group. I don't care what group it is. The church, I don't care where it is. So you'll automatically relay that to everybody. Now, I was involved in 19 murders. Now, I didn't kill 19 people, but I was involved in 19 murders. But to me, Cosa Nostra was part of my heritage, number one. Number two, I was in the military. And in the military, they taught me how to kill and why we should kill, which was total bullshit. I got drafted during the Vietnam War. You're going to go to Vietnam, and you're going to kill these people because they're communists. They're going to come here. They're going to rape your mother, your sisters, and this and that and the other thing. And I'm a young gung-ho jerk, 19 years old. I'm stabbing a bag. Yeah, I'm going to go kill him. I'm going to do this. It was all bullshit. I find it out later in life. I never went, thank God, because I would have killed them. But I've never met Vietnamese people in prisons. Either they're good crooks or they're not bad people.
Yeah.
The only ones I know, they do toenails and fingernails, and they seem to be nice people. So, and the same thing in the Mafia. In the Mafia, you're a soldier to Cosa Nostra. Once you take that oath, you're a soldier to that oath and the family. When they tell you to kill, or you have to kill to protect Cosa Nostra, almost like the Sicilian thing, you do it. So,
and there's rules, and there's, you know, people have to vote on it and stuff like that. It's not like you just wake up one day and kill somebody.
No, I never woke up any morning or night, or even people I didn't like. I would like to punch you right in the fucking face, but I don't want to kill you. No, I never felt like that. But I would for Cosa Nostra. It's what we protect. There's rules. You live by the rules, or you die by the rules. You break those rules, you're going to be killed. Let's say me and you are friends, and I think the world of you. I really, really love you as a friend. And you break these rules that we know, and you're going to get killed. I may be part of killing you. Now, I'm not going to die with you. You know the rules. You made your decision.
This is the life you chose.
It's the life you chose. It's the life I chose. So that's just the way it is.
I mean, honestly, like, I know it might sound like morbid or strange, but it's like you guys are a government within the government that originally started to protect yourselves from outside governments that are probably doing a lot of harm to innocent people. But it's like, even as a society, we have a government that votes and has, you know, a court or whatever if someone's guilty or innocent, and we still have innocent people in prison, and we still have innocent people that get murdered every year. I think, like, you know, the statistics, like 5 people a year are innocent that are getting murdered. So I mean, it seems strange from like an outsider looking in, but like our government does this.
Without a doubt. You know, somebody asked me that, you know, said in the movie The Godfather, when Michael is talking to this woman who's his wife, or going to be his wife, and she's comparing his father, the Mafia, to senators and congressmen, and she says, well, at least they don't kill. And he looks at her and he says, are you kidding?
Yeah.
They kill, they create wars, they drop bombs, they kill men, women, and children. A bomb don't know what it's killing. When it blows up, it kills everybody. Now, me, I've never been involved in killing a woman or a child, and we don't do that anyway. We're not supposed to. It could be by accident, but it doesn't happen. Our people we kill are in our life, because most of the guys in the Mafia are killers. How do you control them without
them turning on you?
Anarchy, yes, problems. So once you know you got guidelines and what the punishment is death. We have that in governments. there's a death penalty.
Mm-hmm.
Your crimes are so horrendous, you can be killed by the government.
Mm-hmm.
And people understand that, know that, and recognize it.
Yeah.
So we have the same thing. So aside from I never woke up to kill anybody, I never killed a woman or a child. I mean, I was on a hit. A guy, there was a war going on in Philadelphia, and a guy, Nicky Russo's made guy, his son was killed by an Irish guy. And I got the contract to go kill the Irish guy, help out. And I did that in conjunction with the family in Philadelphia. And I talked to Nicky Russo, and I said, it's over. The revenge is done. It's over.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, no. He has a son.
Oh, he wants you to kill his son, too.
I want you to kill his son. A son for a son. How old is this guy? 12, 13 maybe. No, I'm not killing him.
Mm.
He's a kid. He's a baby. I'm not killing him. No. He said, I'll talk to Paul and tell him you're refusing. I don't give a fuck who you talk to. I'm not doing it. I don't care who tells me to do it. I'm not doing it. He did talk to Paul Castellano. When Paul Castellano called me in and said, did you refuse to kill this kid? I said, yes, I did. And you said, if I told you, you would refuse. That's what I said. He said, good. We don't kill kids. And if Nicky keeps pushing for this, the next contract you'll have is to kill Nicky. We don't kill kids. So I had already told him no. And I'm glad you took that kind of a stand. And I'm glad you told me the truth, what you said. So adios. And I left the house. So when people, like during the pandemic, the governor of New York turns around and puts people with the covert virus in old homes. And he gets a static, a whole bunch of people, thousands of people died. And his excuse was, I think Trump told me, or I have to do it, or whatever the fuck. And I don't give a fuck who tells me to do it. If you tell me that I would never put those covert people in an old age home, you're going to kill them. They're not going to be able to withstand it. You're protecting them. They can't, families go there, they knock on a window, they got a mask on. Now you're going to put people who have the covert in there with them? Get the fuck. So that's not an excuse. Governor Cuomo. And I when I heard things like that, it's what a fucking weak excuse somebody told me. Nobody told. I don't give a fuck who told you. Certain things you just can't do. So, I don't know.
Let me ask you, when you got out of jail after the whole case with Gotti, why do you think that there was never, like they never actually did a hit on you? Because I would imagine that, you know, there was a lot of fear, there's a lot of people trying to. Why do you think it never happened? And like why is there so much respect for you now?
I'm a master hit guy, number one. I've been involved in 19 murders, some of them planning, some of them actually doing, whatever. I'm a master hit guy. And I knew that it would come. And I prepared myself for it. They did find me. There was a hit, and they came down. This guy Huck and this guy Fat Sally came down. And Huck told Fat Sally, I didn't know this guy Fat Sally. Huck told him, you got to take him out because he don't know you. You could probably walk fairly close to him and pull up on him. He says, why don't we do this together? He said, no, he knows me. I'll guarantee you he's got a gun. I guarantee you he'll not fucking run. He will pull it out and he'll try to kill us. So you do it. Sally heard that and said, fuck this. Maybe he recognized that I'm a New York type of guy. I don't know. He got worried about me. And they didn't close in on me. It lasted for 6, 7, 8 months. And they spotted me. They watched me. and it didn't get done. And I eventually got pinched again in Arizona, and I guess the hit thing was over. But they tried. They tried. When I got busted in Arizona, it's on my indictment. I slept. I had a little tiny dog with me, but it was a good warning thing. It heard everything. It would bark, and I would get up. I slept with a .357 Magnum.
You don't think that's a crazy gun for protection? You don't think it's like overkill?
Yeah. I'm gonna shoot you. I'm gonna knock you right through the fucking wall. Maybe half the wall will go down too. But I know you're going down, and I don't know if there's gonna be one or two. I don't want to play with you. I'm gonna kill you immediately, and I'm gonna kill whoever the fuck else is there. I want the firepower. I had 5 other guns loaded in every room. Another bedroom, the bathroom, the kitchen, the living room. So if I ran out of bullets, I always knew where there was another one that was fully loaded. It's on my indictment. Not only did I have the .357 Magnum, but I had 5 other guns loaded in the place. Matter of fact, the day I got arrested, my dog was growling. Immediately, when I got up out of the bed, I got the gun. I went to the window. I moved the blinds with my gun, and there was fucking cops up the wazoo, fucking armored vehicles, helicopters flying around. I was thinking it was the mob. It wasn't the mob. So I put the gun down. I got busted and went in. But I was waiting on the hit, and they kind of figured that would happen. And there's a whole story on that. I got pinched for ecstasy. The whole case was a little bit of bullshit. I don't want to get into too much. There's a documentary coming out with my daughter and my son in it. It'll be out in, I think, June or July or something like that. We did it. Some of it was true. Some of it's bullshit. It was exaggerated. Sammy the Bull, we crushed him with the Mafia in Arizona and whatever. You know, they took the name and they went to the moon with it.
Yeah, if you weren't who you were, you would never have got that much time in prison at all.
No. I got, you know, and I could say it because it's coming out on that. They're going to have a heart attack that I say it. But, you know, they didn't have me. I never bought drugs. I never sold drugs. And that came out at my trial when I was pinched. As a matter of fact, my lawyer even asked if he didn't buy drugs, he didn't sell drugs. Did he go out with you guys at night?
Yeah.
No. Then what the fuck did he do? He lent me money.
Yeah, he lent you the money, and what you did with the money, I mean, who knows what he would have
done.
done.
I knew what they were doing, so I don't want to be... I wasn't naive to it. I had a stupid plan to lend him money. You make enough money, quit, come with me in business. I was in business. I had a construction business, a pool business. I wasn't interested in it. And to show you I wasn't a Colombian guy came to me in their group. And he said, I got a guy, I forgot what country it was, where they actually make the actual drug. What's the name of the drug?
Fentanyl?
No.
Ecstasy?
Ecstasy. Ecstasy. They want to overprint it and sell you 1 million pills at 50 cents a pill. Now, these kids were paying $7.50 wholesale and selling it for $15, $18, $20. 50 cents. So I could have got those pills for 50 cents. Tacked on $5, it's $5.50. I give it to them. They're getting a break. They're not paying $7.50. They're paying now $5.50. And they moved that overnight like that. It was going like crazy. So I could have made $5 million overnight. And my son said, Dad, why wouldn't you do it? I said, because I'm a criminal. If I could invest this kind of money, and in a month I make $5 million, I'll never stop until I go to prison. It's just, it's in me. If I make $5 million in 1 month, you think I'm going to refuse the second batch or the third batch? I know me. I won't be able to stop. So I didn't do it the first time. So I didn't give a shit about the money. I had plenty of money. And I knew what would happen to me. And I didn't do it. So I really didn't give a shit about ecstasy. I never took it. They said it's a love drug. I never took it. I never did anything with it. And I never did drugs in the street when I had the opportunity in the mob. Heroin was coming into the country with the Italians, and the French Connection, all these things. I could have did it then easily. There was guys in it. I could have did it. I never did it for a couple reasons. Not that I look down on it. Some guys do it. I don't care. I didn't like the people I would be dealing with, number one. And I thought it would bring different kind of heat. The DEA, I already had the FBI, the state organized crime, up my ass. I need now the DEA. I didn't want to be bothered with it. And I was making good money in construction, loan sharking, and stuff like that. I didn't need this new headache. I had the same opinion. I didn't want to be bothered with it.
Did you ever do any types of drugs during your younger years?
Yeah. Yeah, I smoked pot when I was younger.
But like you never felt tempted? Because I know like during that time, a lot of people probably were doing like cocaine and stuff at least.
Cocaine was all over the place, and certain pills, uppies, downies, or whatever it is. Yeah, no. I'm a little bit of a control freak. And when I lose control of myself, that's why I don't really, I'll have a beer, I drink a little bit. I never get drunk. As soon as I feel a little good, you can't put a gun to my head to have the next drink. And it's because I'm a control freak, I think. And if I lose control of myself, I hate myself. It just bothers me in such a way. So I've never been a drinker, and I never took drugs because you're going to lose control. I had a friend of mine, we were playing cards and went to his bedroom, and he had this wallpaper with these designs. And he says, Sammy, take this. I said, what is it? He says, it's LSD, you go on a trip. He said, see the lines? Yeah, it's going to look like an ocean. So when I look at the wall, it's going to look like I'm involved in an ocean? Yeah. No thanks, bro. I don't want to.
So you never did LSD?
No, it's too spacey for me. It scares the shit out of me. I don't want to do it. It's not for me. You guys do it. Do what you want, but it's not for me.
You had any friends that you were in the mob with that like did turn out to become drug addicts?
Oh yeah,
A lot of them.
Yeah, quite a few. I had this guy Eddie. His name was, I forgot his last name, but Eddie. We were in the car, and I was driving, and he started getting nauseous, and he was going to throw up. And he says, please stop the car. I stopped the car. He opened up the door. Man, he was throwing up his lungs. So I said, what's the matter, bro? You sick? Want me to take you to the hospital? He couldn't stop throwing up. He said, no, I need a fix. What? What do you mean? He said, Sammy, I'm a heroin addict. And if I don't get it at a certain time, I get extremely sick. And this is part of getting high with heroin. Well, if you don't get it at a certain time. So I said, well, that's one motherfucking drug I am never even going to look at. And I saw him, and he deteriorated, and I believe he died. He OD'd one day. So I see things like that. I'm not going near that stuff. I don't see even you might be high and happy for a minute, but look what you became. I'm not doing it. So I'm not tempted with things that easy. I like life. I love women. I go out, have a drink. I do that's my thing.
Yeah.
You could be a junkie. You want to be a junkie? Go ahead. But that's not for me.
You think that your addiction was the lifestyle? Do you think like the lifestyle, how hard was it to like let go of the lifestyle?
I never did. I'm a gangster right now while I'm talking to you. I love the life. I love the people in the life. And if I hear guys knocking the life, I can't knock the life. I knew their wives, their kids. I loved people that I dealt with. Not all of them, like I said, a Roy DeMeo, people like that I didn't like. But they were good-natured. They had families. A lot of them were good-natured. It's going to sound crazy coming out of my mouth, but they were good-natured people. They would help you in a hot minute. We protected our neighborhoods. Women walked around in Bensonhurst, Brooklyn. I don't think any woman was afraid of getting raped. They could walk around sexy. They could march all around. You might look at them, but you ain't touching them. When there was a guy, there was a Son of Sam shootings, and it was in my neighborhood, Bensonhurst, Brooklyn.
How old were you during that time? That's
I
crazy.
was a young guy. When I would be parked in a lover's lane with a girl, I would have a gun.
Wow.
Because this guy was nuts.
Yeah,
he was
I know all about
going
it.
to Lover's Lanes, and he caught a couple in a car.
Killing
And he would
couples.
kill them. So whatever she was doing to me, I had I had a gun.
To make sure. Yeah.
Fuck that.
So you were nervous.
Yeah, if you were going to come near me while I'm having sex, I'll fucking shoot you.
Of course.
But the point I was going to bring out is that the Mafia worked with the Mafia and the cops hated each other. Not hated, but we were separate.
Opposite sides.
When that was going on,
You guys came together?
They came together. Everybody was looking for this guy. So that's how the Mafia thought. I remember guys saying, hey, everybody look around, who's who, who's what, whatever. I think he got caught. He got a parking ticket or something.
Yeah,
And
he got a
from-
parking ticket, and they
Yeah,
like
it's-
mapped up his writing or something. 'cause
Yeah,
had
his
written
writing,
letters.
because he had a little map in the car or something and whatever. And he was out of the car when they found the car and they gave it a ticket, but they didn't know what it was. He was already out of the car walking around searching for somebody to kill. Another fucking nut serial killer. I think he's still alive, is he?
I don't know. I think he died. I know he went to prison or something.
No, he
but-
went to prison a long time. I thought they were going to let him out. I don't know if they let him out or he died in prison, but, so that's how our neighborhood was. And they used to question people a lot. And a lot of these are legitimate people would say, well, I know what they do and I don't agree with it,
they
but
protect us.
the neighborhood is safe. Now, this day and age, you go to the neighborhoods, they're not safe. And I talk to people from there. I got family, I got friends. I even got some old gangsters who still talk with me on occasion.
When did the Mafia start getting super violent? Because I know there was a time where like it wasn't as violent, right?
Well, I don't know. In the 20s and 30s and 40s, I think it was violent.
Probably was violent. Yeah.
Al Capone, it depended on what city. Al Capone was popping people off every 2 seconds. It depends on who's in charge. See, like Angelo Bruno, the boss in Philadelphia, they called him the gentle Don. Now, you getting permission for a hit from him was like pulling teeth. You really had to have a good reason. Carlo Gambino was the same way. He didn't just give out, Paul Castellano too. You had to have a legitimate, good reason. Somebody had to break the rules.
And jeopardize the whole organization.
In other words, one of the rules are, if you're a maid guy and I'm a maid guy, and you go with my wife, when I find out about it, I can kill you. That's in the rules. You're going to get. I go to the boss. You got to go to your captain. The captain's got to go to the boss.
Is there a book on the rules, or you're just told the rules?
No. You know the rules in your head. There's no. Now it's out. I mean, they might be in books. It might be everywhere. But
back then,
back
it's just,
then,
you
no.
just knew
It was
what
just
you
in your,
could and
yes,
couldn't do.
what they tell you. Especially the rules that, you can get killed for.
You knew.
I mean, I've had a couple of women when I was younger and good looking. A woman flirted with me or something like that. I give you a stupid story. She didn't flirt with me, but she was Paul Castellano's daughter. I was waiting for Paul to come down and have a meeting in his house, and she came down, beautiful girl, and she says, my father's not done yet. He'll be down in a little while. And I was having a cup of coffee. The maid made me a cup of coffee, and she had a cup of coffee, and we were talking, and then she said, you married? I said, yeah. And she says, maybe someday we can go for lunch or something, and, you're interesting to talk to and stuff like that. Now, my head just, a date for lunch? No, fuck no. The boss's daughter? No, forget about it.
Hell no.
No, one
that
little
girl
thing.
couldn't get a date with nobody.
Yeah. Well, I ain't going with it, for sure. Even though it's innocent, I don't even want, be caught dead. With her having lunch.
Yeah.
No. She lost a couple of her boyfriends.
I believe it.
Yeah. They deserve to go, but she's not another place you should go date. Go date somewhere else.
Of course. Do you have a favorite mobster?
A favorite mobster? If you're talking about an old-time mobster, an old-time mobster, I met Carlo Gambino, and I really liked him. It's the reason why. I transferred from the Colombo family to the Gambino family. There was a problem. I won't get into that whole story. And Tato, my mentor, he was a captain. I wasn't made yet. He took me up and to Carl's apartment in Brooklyn on Ships at Ocean Parkway. And he looked at me, he says, "Is this the kid, Sammy the Bull?" And they said, "Yeah, that's him." He said, "Hey, you have a pretty good reputation." Shook my hand, got up, shook my hand. I didn't even know what to say. And then he says, "You drink coffee?" "Yeah." "Espresso?" "Yeah." So there's 4, 5, 6 guys in the room. I figure he's going to tell somebody, get him a cup of coffee. He went
And got you a coffee?
got the coffee, put it out. He says, "You want anisette or Zambuca?" "Anisette sounds good." I don't know for sure. He put this little teaspoon of anisette. He got a lemon peel around the edge. And he's telling me, "This here cleans the edge and it gives a good taste. And when you're done cleaning the corner," boom, he threw it in the coffee. "Here, tell me how you like it." He was so it was like talking with my grandfather or something. Or, I mean, it was an older guy. He was gentle. He was so fucking, he was really a good guy and very, very smart. He was smart as a fox. So I like him. I like Lucky Luciano. Some of the other ones are a little tougher. I mean, I like them for their toughness and whatever. But when you come down to our time, my mentor, Tato, I loved him till today. I'll see a picture of him and it's like looking at my father. It breaks my fucking heart that he's even dead, but I hope he's in a good place. Frankie the Chico was like a big brother to me. I loved him with all my heart and soul. My crew, Stymie, his name was Joey D'Angelo. We called him Stymie. The old man Peruta, Michael the Bat, Nicky Cowboy, my whole Johnny Holmes, my whole crew, I loved them. We ate together, played together. When there was problems, we were always there for one another. I loved all of them. Most of them are gone. I missed them. Some of them I killed, talking about drugs. Nicky Cowboy brought in crack and got Michael the Back hooked on crack, and I wound up killing both of them.
So at the time, the Mafia selling drugs was like a big no-no, right?
In my time, the message was, Paul Castellano put out a message, you deal drugs, you die. There was a few bosses who said the same thing. But guys did drugs anyway. There was a lot of money in it. They did it on a sneak. So that's what destroyed John. John Gotti and Angelo Ruggiero, his man, they got caught on tapes with drugs.
Yeah, so basically they're breaking their own rules or rules that they know they shouldn't be breaking.
Right. So if you're going to get hit for that, you know, I'm not going to refuse. And if you're a made guy and you're ordered to hit him, shoot him, kill him, you have to do it or you die. That's another rule.
So if you get ordered to kill even your best friend, you have to do it or else you're the one who is also going to get killed.
Well, he's going to get killed anyway, but you're going to get killed too for refusing. So I'm not going to refuse. Now, I have the right to try and
save the situation.
Save the situation. Of another good friend of mine I grew up with him all my life, Louie Melito. He betrayed us when we plot to kill Castellano. A little bit, nothing serious, but he was going to get killed. I wound up saving him. When he came out, I was above a captain. I was a consigliere family, and a guy who was around me, made guy, Louie Big Louie, I recommended him to take my spot as a captain. Louie Melito didn't like the idea of that, bitching and moaning and everything. And he got himself in trouble again. I saved him a second time. The third time, John Gotti didn't want to hear nothing. And he had to go. I didn't kill him. Other guys killed him. I wanted to be there to make sure that he died without any kind of stupid shit, any kind of beating, any kind of struggle, anybody spitting on him or kicking him after you're dead. I wanted him to get hit in the head right away and die right away. And die like a man. If I didn't think like that and I wasn't there, it wouldn't even be on my list. So that's my only part in that murder. I should have shut my fucking mouth because it happened anyway, and now it's like I killed him. I'm part of the murder according to the government, you're
But your part in it was that you wanted to be as humane as possible.
And I was there. So once you're there and you're part of it, and whatever your role is, it's murder. You're charged with murder.
You told me a story about a lot of famous people earlier, and you mentioned the story with Scott Storch, how you went to his house and he had a famous bag hanging up at his house.
Yeah. He had on a wall. There was,
how did you get linked up with him?
Through Steve Lobel.
Okay.
Steve Lobel is a very good friend of mine. When I was away in prison, he got in touch with my family. He helped my family. He sent me some help and some, money.
Without knowing you before? Or he knew you before?
He knew of me. I don't think he knew me before, but he knew my family.
He took care of you guys?
A little bit, but he was there. We needed a favor. My grandchild wanted to go see some hip-hop show or something. Boom, they got a ticket from him. And I heard what was going on, and I always liked it. So when I got out, I was in touch with him, and we became very close. Scott Storch was a good friend of his. And so I met him a couple of times, and I went up in his house, and I met him up in California in his house. At a mansion up on the top there. And I had heard that he could play a song, 2 different songs at the same exact time, 2 different melodies. I think that's impossible.
Yeah, that's crazy. He's playing one song on beat with one hand and then playing a different song on beat with the other hand.
I saw him do it because I questioned him. I said, "You can't do that, could you?" He says, "Watch." And he took me in a room. I played the piano and he did it. But when I went up to the apartment and I was talking with him, and he was extremely friendly too, seemed like a real good guy. I saw on the bulletin board, or whatever the fuck it was, he had a white bag, hanging there. So I said, "What's in that?" He said, "Powder, pure powder." "Why do you hang a bag like that?" He said, "Because I was a coke fiend and I lost $100 million. And that, I keep that hanging there so I can look at it, and it reminds me all the time of what that thing did to me and my life." "You lost $100 million? How the fuck did you?" And then he started explaining bags and trips that he would take. The trip alone to go away for a weekend would cost him a couple of $1 million, and coke and partying and all kinds of shit. He says, "I was a multi-millionaire and I was trying to live like a billionaire, and I went bust. I lost $100 million. I said, "Wow, what a fucking story."
That's
he
crazy.
had. And then I got to know him more and more, and he's a really down-to-earth guy. He's talented as can be. And I saw he did a little thing on the roof with some hip-hop guys, and he was on the piano. And, I mean, he's great.
Yeah.
You know?
He's super talented. It's crazy.
Yeah. And then there was a guy, what's his name? He was killed. Steve Lobel was his manager. What's his name?
Which one?
Russell, Nipsey.
Oh, Nipsey Hussle?
Nipsey Hussle. Steve Lobel was his manager, and then he got killed, and there was a whole thing and ritual about him and stuff like that. And Steve was so disturbed over it because he was his manager, and Steve took him under his wing and like a son. And Steve is a manager with hip hop people. I mean, black people love him. I mean, I went to a hotel. And I was at, we were checking in. He was taking me there. Took me to the counter. I was checking in. I had my bags. And I hear these black women yelling, "Steve!" I turned around, and they're looking. I thought they were looking at me, and they were all smiling, and they're running with their arms out. I said, "Oh, my God." I put my arms out. They were for him. They loved him. So, and he says, "Yeah." He says, I do all the shows, and I do all the things, and,
You listen to rap music?
A little bit. I don't listen to rap music that much but when I work out, I do.
Okay.
Because the beat, I like
That hypes you up?
Yeah, it hypes me up, and I work out to the beat.
Who do you listen to?
No particular guy, but I've talked with a lot of guys. Brian Glaze, I'm pretty friendly with Brian Glaze. I met another black guy he introduced me to. What's the guy, they call him the Bull, Sammy the Bull?
Terrence Williams?
Yeah, they call him Sammy the Bull. So Brian Glaze says he's a good guy, Sammy. They call him you, the Black Sammy the Bull. So I talked with him. He wanted me to do an interview with him. I did an interview with him. I went to California. There's another group of black guys. I forgot them. I did 2 or 3 interviews with them.
Why do you think like hip hop idolizes the Mafia so much?
I don't know. But I mean, some of the beats. I mean, a lot of hip hop songs. You know, I hear my name come up in it, or somebody will tell me, "Hey, the guy's hip hopping and he's talking about you and the thing." I don't know. I don't know why. You know, it's crazy. Years and years ago, I think my daughter would remember this. I had a shot of talking with Wu-Tang. And so I didn't know what hip-hop song, I didn't know what that was at all back then. And I was just in the Mafia, and I said, no, I don't, you know, I'm not going to invest. I don't know anything about that.
Oh, this is before they were big?
Before they were big, from Cony Island.
Wow.
And I mean, a couple of years later, I wanted to kick myself in the ass because they blew up.
Yeah.
But I didn't even know what the music was and stuff like that. Guys from Cony Island, you know, it was from the same neighborhood basically, and it was before they blew up, and then they got big, and then they died out, and then they got big again a little bit. You know, I don't know
Method Man.
Yeah.
How do you want to be remembered?
How do I want to be remembered? I can't get away from my past, and I don't want to duck it or hide it. I am what I am. I was a gangster. I did everything I was supposed to do in the life. I have a good side, and I got a bad side of me. For what I'm doing now, I'm doing things in Hollywood. I'm meeting people like yourself and doing interviews. I'm enjoying it. I couldn't think of anything better to be in my retirement, to people I'm dealing with. I'm dealing with a lot of really good people. I don't want to mention their names, but I'll say one name, Nick Pileggi. I think God sent me to him. He's 91. A great guy, a great friend, you know, and I was so happy to meet him. He's a legend in Hollywood, and he's so good to me. I mean, he really is a true friend. When he's your friend, he's your friend. I love the guy, and his partner, JJ Sachs, and a lot of people that I'm dealing with. I met Terry Winter. Again, not that long ago, and I know his history, but he's really a great guy. Aaron Kaplan, another guy. I mean, I don't know if I'm supposed to say this. I was a little short on money. We didn't sign the contract yet, and he sent me money, $20,000-$30,000 down. Boom. So I called my lawyer. I said, bro, we didn't even sign the contract. He sent me money. Is that normal? He said, no. He said, but the guy likes you, trusts you, and he knew you were in trouble. He sent you down some money. And they'll deduct it later on when the contracts and stuff. Who the hell does that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially me with my background or history or something. You're afraid I'm going to rob you or beat you or something.
Yeah.
And 100% I would never, especially a guy doing something like that. So it's not my thing is to rob people. I try to do the right thing all the time. So I think a combination of that. You know, Sammy was a gangster, changed his life. He helps a lot of people. I get so many things. I help people just the way I talk. I don't try to help them. I'm talking to them. I do a Q&A. A guy wrote me a thing. I listen to you all the time. You changed my life. I'm away from this and I'm away from that. So I hope I'm on both sides, for the good side and the bad side. And you could shape the stone like a gun. And that's me.
That's you. You have a favorite gun?
Not really.
You like them all?
Not really. Any gun, it all
close to
depends. You know, like people said, did you train? No, I wouldn't. I was a kid. I went hunting. I know how to shoot shotguns and pistols. And, you know, I'm training because I'm aiming at a deer or an animal or a bear. So I knew how to do that.
Did they really use silencers? I find it hard to believe. Like in the movies, there's a lot of silencers.
No, we did use silencers.
You did?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just going to use you as an example.
Go for it.
Somebody could be in the other room over there. If I had a real good silencer, like the military silencers, I could pop you right here. They wouldn't even know what happened. It wouldn't even sound like a cup fell, nothing. You wouldn't hear nothing. Now, we couldn't get them. And then we had these places that wouldn't make it. So we'd make it ourselves.
Make them.
It wasn't as good as the other one. You'd hear like a tick,
Yeah.
you know, like
you
that.
hear the gun cock.
Yeah, little
the
like a
slide.
noise like that when you pull the trigger. But it's all about the gases that go through the barrel and everything like that. So inside they change the barrel and they change everything, and the gases are not.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was real because I see it in the movies. I'm like, are they really using like suppressors like that? But I guess they are.
Yeah, on occasion. I mean, we didn't use it all the time.
Yeah, but
but
sometimes.
you know, if you could use it, like if it was going to happen in here, and there's people next door and stuff, you wouldn't want that noise, so you would use it here.
What's your favorite podcast that you've done?
I've done a podcast with James Carroll, who's a brilliant guy. He came down, I met him, I started doing a podcast, and he said, I asked him, I said, James, would you help me? I started doing this podcast. Would you help me? He says, of course. He jumped in, helped me. We started doing it, and he said, you know, Sammy, you're a great storyteller. And with his knowledge and everything, he said, you're going to get 25 million views. What? I said, listen, I know for sure I could get 18 people. 25 million? I doubt it. Well, as of today, we got 111 million views on my podcast. Most of it's on my podcast. The most devastating story on it, I think, is a hit I did on Johnny Keys, guy from Philadelphia. I got involved in the Philadelphia War after they killed Angelo Bruno, who was a boss. It was a commission hit that gave Paul Castellano the hit. He was the boss of the family. He gave it to me. It was a mission impossible, and I got it done.
Because he was also a hitman, right?
Him, yeah, and he had 50 hits under his belt.
Wow.
He was older. He was very sharp. He was cunning, and he was very dangerous. He had 10, 15, 20 guys fighting the war on his side, and he was extremely careful with everything. So I think that story brought, you know, I did the story with James Carroll before I put it out. I took it to my ex-wife, Deborah, and we were having coffee in her backyard. And I said, listen to the story and tell me what you think. And I played it. 3/4 of the way through the story, she started crying. So the story ended. I said, what are you crying about? She said, him. I feel so bad for him. And everybody who's ever heard this story just flipped out. Nick Pileggi heard it. He told me, he said, I heard it, I had company, and I listened to it, but I had company. When they were gone, 2-3 hours later, I got a cup of coffee, had to listen to the whole thing again. 2 weeks later, I had to listen to the whole thing again. I have never heard a Mafia story like this. This has got to be a movie. There's no question about it. And then he shocked me because he said, you know what you and him were? Gangsters. He says, yeah. But what you are? And I don't know what you mean. He said, you were both samurais. The samurais, when they battle, they're more vicious than you guys. But when they lose the battle, they want to die with honor, period.
Yeah, they do a seppuku.
They'll cut their stomach open, or they'll bow. So they want you to chop their head off and die like a man. That's how Johnny Keys died. I can't say the whole story because I am in contract and we're going to do it, but the story is fucking phenomenal. I think that's the best story I told. I mean, everybody keeps telling me I'm a great storyteller. I'm starting to get a little kick about that. I did a thing, a movie. I was in a movie. I acted in The Salvatore was the name of it. I was hoping that I maybe be a good actor. because I never practiced talking, so I don't think it worked. Because a couple of people told me, listen.
They said it wasn't good?
No, they said it was good, but a couple of people said, don't quit your other job.
Oh, come on. That's funny. What was Patrick Bet David like?
He's a good guy. He's a friend. I did my first interview with him.
Your first was with him?
Yes.
Wow.
I wasn't doing interviews, so I did it with him, and I really put him through the grinder a little bit. I was growling a little bit and doing everything, and we did an interview, and as of today, it got 20-something million views, and it's one of the highest views he's got that he's ever got. And he's talked to everybody.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I've read all of his books.
I like him a lot.
He's such a good man.
Yeah, he's a good man. I mean, and he's honest. He's
good
sincere.
Message, unbiased, but also not like, he's great.
Yeah, he's not what you watch. You can't push him around, you know. And he's really, really smart. I like him a lot.
When you were in the mob and you were making all this money, what was like some of the hobbies you had? Did you like buy? Were you into cars? Were you into houses? Like, what were some of the things that you did, like, in your free time, if you had any? Did you travel? Did you go anywhere?
And I think I was a little boring when it came to that.
You didn't have a whole bunch of cars?
No.
Wow.
No, I had a bullshit car at first, and then I got a Mercedes for a while. I think, what was my, I had a horse farm. I bought a horse farm, and I bought some race horses.
Yeah, you're an animal guy. You love animals.
Yeah. And we had a great time on that. I would leave the Mafia and my whole head, brain, everything over there, and I'd go to my farm with my kids. I bought my kids horses, and I bought some race horses, and guys would come up and hang out. And I built a track, a race track for the, I didn't have thoroughbreds. I had trotters and pacers, and I loved that. So that was a hobby, you can call it. I love that, going away, walking around my farmer jeans and doing stuff like that with the family. And
you didn't travel either?
My wife is going to give me a double divorce. My other divorce. I'm already divorced, but she's going to. I like women. And
women are the thing. Me too.
Yeah. So I mean, that's my. A guy says, "Hey, listen, I'm going to buy 2 cars. I want to have 3 girls. I don't want 2 cars." So I don't know. But I
believe in love?
Do I believe in love? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm divorced from my wife for quite a while, since 1991. I still love her. I take care of her. She's
out of all the girls, why'd you pick her?
I had 3 girlfriends in my whole life.
Wow.
3 loves, real loves.
3 real.
I had a couple more than 3, but
3 real loves.
3 real loves. A girl like Lorraine Pye. We were real young, 16, 17. I got drafted in the military. She waited a while, and then I came out. We were getting engaged. We broke up. And I met another girl, Louise. And I fucking fell head over heels over her. She was drop dead gorgeous.
What's Sammy the Bull like when he's in love with a girl?
You should go ask them. They still talk to me. So I couldn't have been all that bad.
Of course.
They still talk to me. So I couldn't have been all that bad. So
you write poems to them? Are you taking them to dinner? Are you telling them you're in love with them?
No.
You love bomb them?
No, I don't do any of that. I do the thing, I open the door on the first time. We go up and we go into an apartment. I come out and I go and I get in the driver's side, and she says, "You're not going to open the door?" No, that's the bullshit before you get laid. We all just got laid. Open your own door. Open your own door. Let's get real now.
That's the real Sammy.
That's the real Sammy.
That was the representative.
So, and then I broke up with Louise, and she got married, and
Were you heartbroken?
No, it was,
mutual?
We were both young, and she wanted to see what life was all about before we got married. She wanted me to leave the street life and maybe go to California. Telling me you're going to California when I was young was like telling me you're going to Mars.
Wow.
I ain't doing
New
that.
York was so different than California.
Yeah. I am not going there. I'm just not doing it. So, and I said, all right, let's break up for a while. We broke up, and then she met somebody, and I bumped into my wife, Deborah.
She's your last real love.
Yeah. And a lot of guys in the mob have a gumana. I never had a gumana.
What's a gumana?
A gumana is like your second wife. They got your wife, and they got
like
another wife on the side.
Mistress.
With the kids, everything. I that's not me. I don't do that. So I was just semi-loyal to her.
As much as you could be.
I mean, sometimes, like I think saw a thing with Trump. He got, Playboy Bunny, and they got ratted out. He got caught with the girl. He started denying it. And I took a look at the picture of the Playboy Bunny, and I said, I would never lie about that. I mean, I would put her picture up, and I would tell my wife, take a look, bro. I couldn't refuse.
There you go.
And if you told me you went with somebody, you showed me a picture of Brad Pitt,
you're like, hey,
I would say, I get it. I would fuck him if I was a good woman, too. I get it. All right.
Of course.
Take a pass.
Yeah, hall pass. That's interesting. What was it about her that you fell in love with her?
She was not flashy. She was not the usual. She was home with her dad, and she was more,
like a good girl.
A good girl. And my father put that in my head when I was real young. I went out with a girl who was a stripper. Drop dead gorgeous, great body, wear great clothes she wore. And I came in, my mother's jaw hit the table, I think. And my father said, let me talk to you, Sammy. I said, what? And he said, bro, she's beautiful. You take her straight to a motel. You don't take this home to your mother. She's too gorgeous. So
my dad was the opposite. My dad was like, bring that girl over here anytime.
Yeah. Maybe he wanted a piece of it.
Of course, probably. He's one of us.
No, my father says she's gorgeous. I mean, you're on target, but you go to a motel. You don't take her home to mommy.
There you go. Let me ask you. So you spent a lot of time in one of the worst prisons in the country, HHE&x.
Yeah.
If you had to explain HHE&x to a 10-year-old, how would you explain it?
I don't know how I would explain it to a 10-year-old.
Well, just like in a quick way. Like if you had to explain HHE&x to somebody.
I mean, if they were religious, I'd say that's hell. When you're bad, you're going to go to hell, and that's hell. You're going to find something you have no idea. The loneliness and everything you go through in this place. It's fucking lockdown. Day after day, month after month, year after year. I did 6.5 fucking years in a hole. I don't know how I survived it. And people talk to me today, or people when I first got out of the hole, out of the HHE&x, how did you survive? And it was a couple of things. There was a nurse who talked to me, good-looking woman. She was talking to me. She was reading a letter that my daughter wrote to me. She said, your daughter's a great writer. We were talking, and there's bars. There's a door with a slot, and then there's a 3-foot, they call a safe zone for them, and then there's bars within your cell. So she went to give me the thing back. I didn't want her to leave. I wanted to talk. And I grabbed, not the paper, but I grabbed her. I wanted to grab her hand, but I only wound up getting her pinky. And I grabbed it. And I literally almost begged her to stay, to talk to me. I didn't want to hurt her. I just wanted her to stay and talk to me. I was so fucking lonely. And she started crying. And she said, Sammy, I understand what you're going through. Let go of me. There's cameras all over. They'll come in here. They'll kill you. So she didn't pull away. She didn't try to. If she would have done that, they would have saw that. And she says, take deep breaths, do yoga, do whatever. Don't do this. Let go. And I realized what I did. I let go. She gave me the paper. That minute of being humane to me. It was something that was so fucking important to me. I went on a visit with my wife, and I went in, they gave me a small room. The glass between us was this thick. You can't hear, you got to use the phone. You can't touch, you can't hear. They brought me my food through the slot, and I told her there's a room in back of you, there's the machines, you can get something to eat. She did, and she sat there. So when the guard gave me the stuff, I says, there's no utensils. She said, eat with your hands. And I did. While we were talking, it dawned on me. I said, I'm sticking my hand in, picking up the food and eating it. I'm like a fucking animal. I'm not even human anymore. That same day, I pressed the buzzer. They came, a woman. What's the matter? I got to go to the bathroom. I put my hands through the slot. She cuffed me. She took me in the hall. She took me to the back of the hall. There was a gate going around a toilet bowl. She put me in that room, opened the gate, and she said, go ahead. And I said, are you going to stand right there? She said, yeah. I said, I have to, I was stuttering with the words. I said, I have to take a shit. She says, I have to stand here and watch. I didn't want to do it, but I had to go, and I did it. It was the most humiliating thing. I had never shit in front of a woman in my life, not even my wife, ever. It almost broke me. I went back to the cell. I told my wife, don't ever come back here again. And don't let nobody come here. Karen, nobody. We'll just call. There'll be calls. I get one call a month. It was hell on wheels. Anybody who goes there would tell you.
It blows my mind that you were in ADX because it wasn't a violent crime. You barely were even that involved. Like, why were you there? Well, what was their explanation of sending you to?
It was my previous lifestyle and stuff like that, and because it was an ecstasy case. It was a bullshit case. But they put me in Arizona
like
for a little while.
Person.
High-profile person. They stuck me in there. Even the warden. Now, I did an interview with the warden after he retired. He sent me letters, stuff like that, knew I was working for prison reform, and came down and did an interview with me here in this very room. And he's helping me with prison reform. Even he says, it's too much. It's too much punishment.
And corruption. I mean, every prison has its own types of corruption. And
I really didn't see any corruption there because you got your cell by yourself. There's no exposure.
Yeah, well, ADX is total. Can you explain ADX, like how the lockdown is, how insane it is?
Oh, the place is like airtight. You can't even hear. Like if I want to yell to somebody who's on first of all, there's not cells on both sides, only on one side.
So you can't even see someone across.
You can't see nobody on the other side. There is nobody. And if I want to get to the guy's 3 cells or 4 cells away from me and I want to yell to him, at one time we were allowed to go in the yards together. But I would have to yell to the guy next to me to yell to him. So you can't even hear each other. It was totally sick. Now, there was a guy in there, corn-fed. I was very close with him. He's an AB guy. And he would never go in the yard. So I would talk through the pipes. You get things, you blow the sink out, he does it, those pipes are connected, there's no water, we could hear each other. And we talk in the sink. And I asked him, I said, corn-fed, why don't you go in the yard? He said, because nobody will go in the yard with me. Nobody will approve me going in the yard with him. So you have to have somebody say, I'll go in the yard with him? Yes. And I thought about it. Now, corn-fed came in on a crime he was facing maybe 10, 12 years. He got 3 life sentences while he was in prison. Killed somebody, got a life sentence after that crime. He killed somebody after later again, got another life sentence, and a third one. And he's a big dude, 6'2", 6'3". Not with weights or nothing like that. This cornfed was like you're a country pumpkin, just naturally. His mother must have been taking steroids when he was sucking on a tit.
Yeah.
So he was just brutal, big, a good-looking guy. Wasn't ugly or nothing like that. Good-looking guy, blonde hair, blue eyes, German type of guy. So I thought about it, and I would play chess through the pipes or talk with him. He's my only friend there, and I can't talk to the guys 4 or 5 cells away. So I grabbed the guard. I asked for the lieutenant. I said, listen, I'd like to go in the yard with cornfed. He said, are you sure? I said, I think so. He said, you know his history? Yeah, I think I do. And you want to go? Yeah. And he said, all right. And they told cornfed he can go in the yard. So the day we were going to go out, they took him first. And he went out into the yard. All the cuffs, all that bullshit. He went in the yard. You got to get cuffed to go in the yard, cuffed outside when you get out. And then they took me. So I went through all the cuffs. I went in the yard. I had my hand backward so that I'm in the yard now to let me loose. And the sun was shining, and I saw him standing there. He looked like a fucking Adonis to me. And I said, oh, my God, I think I made a mistake. So as he walked towards me, I'm a little bit of a fighter, even though I'm small all my life. I'm thinking, should I throw the first punch or something when he comes near me? But then I just let him in. What the fuck am I throwing a punch for? He came over, he grabbed me by my head, way over me, he towered over me, he kicks me on the top of my head.
Wow.
He says, you got me out here, bro. Without you, I would be in my fucking cell 24/7. At least I have this hour. We asked the guard, could you give us a chess set? An actual chess set. It was plastic, but he gave it to
You guys played real chess?
We played real chess in the yard. I became very, very close with him. He was a powerhouse with the ABs. Now, all of a sudden, I know all the ABs. They all like me for what I did. And so it was all good. And
you got all tatted up in prison?
Yeah, all of it. I had a couple of tattoos that were removed the first time I was in and out, 4 or 5 of them. But all that, my entire chest.
What made you want to get the tattoo? Is there just nothing else to do in prison? Or
when
you just
I got busted
like
for the ecstasy.
Because in the Mafia, that's not a thing.
No,
right? People
no,
aren't
I didn't
tatted
have
up in
that.
the Mafia.
I didn't have all that.
Yeah.
When I got busted for the ecstasy and I was going in, I was 55 years old. And I was going in with a label. I ratted, I cooperated. I didn't think I would make it out. So I said, I put my Mafia hat on, my prison hat. And I said, I'm going to tat up and I'm going to go in there, I'm going to work out. I was already good, pretty good shape. I'm going to work out. And the first motherfucker who fucks with me, I'm going to kill him. And I'm going to get a life sentence, just like cornfed. And I don't give a fuck. But I'm not going to let anybody fuck with me. And if I'm going to kill me, I'm not going easy. And tattoos to me was like an Indian would put war paint on his face. Why does he do it? I don't know why he does it, and I don't know why I did it. I guess that was my war paint, I guess. So I got my back was tattooed. Cornfed did a lot of work. We wound up, when we both got out of ADX, we both wound up in another prison together again. And he was an artist. He did great work. And
But the difference between you cooperating and like other people cooperating is that you were cooperating because you basically found out that John Gotti was also turning his back on you.
And he betrayed me.
Betraying you.
Yes. But that don't make no difference to people who are in prison and even out of prison. It doesn't make you cooperated, you ratted, or whatever, So to a lot of people, it don't make a difference, especially in prison.
Because you're supposed to handle it on your own accord.
Right. But you can't in prison. I was in prison with him. So I just got so frustrated with that betrayal and everything else. If I was on the street, I would have killed him. There's no question in my mind. I don't think there's any question in anybody's fucking mind who knows me that I would have killed him in the street. But we weren't in the street. We were in prison when it finally all came out. And I was so fucking frustrated. I just turned around and one day when he told me that I was going to take the weight and all this other shit, I just said, all right, in my head. I didn't say it to him, but I said it in my head. Fuck John Gotti. Fuck the Mafia. Fuck Marmita. I'm walking away. And I did know agents who treated me right on the street, and those are the agents I reached out to. And I flipped.
You said you're not a religious person, but you say you do believe in God.
Oh, yes.
Did you pray that whole time in prison, or were you like?
I don't pray for God to let me out. God gives you opportunities in life, and you have free will to do what you do. Now, if God wants to punish me for what I did, He can do that. No one else. And when the time comes, I don't believe that God will punish you. God, I hear these things. You could do the worst shit in the world. And you go to church and you say, I believe in Jesus Christ. And you're saved. But if you don't believe in Jesus Christ, then you're going to go to hell and you're going to burn for eternity. But if He's a compassionate man and forgives you, in other words, if you don't use the right path or the right ticket, He's going to be real evil. He's going to make me burn for eternity. Do I buy that bullshit? No, I don't. So when you start telling me stuff like that, the religious stuff goes away. But I do believe in God. I mean, mankind, the birth of man on this planet, either there's people from another planet, maybe He's God. That's where it comes from. When you see all the old things that happen in there, they do artwork, they're always pointing up. So maybe it's up. It's either somebody from another planet or it's God. I'm an artist. I do artwork. I learned art in prison. I look at the sky, sometimes the sunset or the sunrise, and I just look at it. The artwork, it looks like, when I look at it, who could make that kind of artwork? No artist that I know of could make that. It's got to be God. So I do believe in God, but certain religions, they pit one against the other. They
We're
fight.
right, you're wrong.
Yeah, and be on our side, and you go to heaven. If you don't, you're going to go to hell. And there's all this fucking crap. I just don't believe it. They want money when it comes to everything. They want control over your life.
Yeah, religion's a man-made thing.
I think so. I really, really do. I had a priest and told me one time, confess your sins. Tell me your sins. So I said, all right, tell me yours.
Yeah.
Why don't you want to tell me yours? Listen, I think I know for a fact that you suck little boys' dicks and you ruin their fucking lives. So don't tell me you don't got no fucking sins, bro. I think I know what you do too. So I got sins, you got sins. You don't want to talk to me, I don't want to talk to you. I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing in this position right now. So, when I'll talk to my sins, I'll talk to God. If that's what's done, if that's possible, and I will tell God, you made lambs and you made lions. I'm a lion. You made me. You don't want me to eat lambs? Maybe you should have never made them, or vice versa. And if I'm wrong, whatever He's going to do to me, He's going to do to me. But I don't think so, because I'm not a fake or a phony or a fucking liar. I don't bullshit about.
Yeah, and it's also like what you said earlier. It's like how many people went to prison or went to the military and have dropped bombs on people. They have no idea who the fuck they even are, I
watched a thing one time. There was the guy who dropped the bombs in Japan.
Hiroshima.
Crazy. And they were patting him on the back. You stopped the world, If I was there, I would tell the guy, you stopped the war, you took orders, you did this, you did that. I get it, bro. But when you found out that you killed 100,000 men, women, children in a split fucking second.
With generational health issues, yeah.
And I was going to say, with health issues for generations to go, do you really like that medal you got? Do you really feel good about it? Now, you were doped into it like I was. You got to kill the enemy. But how do you feel today? Was that a fucked up thing? The government did that. And then I turned around to the government. I would say, fuck you. I mean, you don't like I was involved in 19 murders? I mean, you were involved in 100,000, I believe. They give these shots now. I think that's fucking bullshit. I think that's a scam. We'll see in time.
Later, yeah.
So, I don't know. I believe in reality. I believe in good people. I love good people. I love dealing with good people. I have a good time. I joke a lot. I think I'm cool.
What's your favorite childhood memory?
My favorite childhood memory? I mean, I have so many memories of my mom and my dad. They were broke. They worked so hard. They opened up a dress factory finally. My mother was a seamstress. My father was a painter. They killed themselves night and day for us to have something. The day he bought me that Schwinn, I mean, they were fucking glowing. Whenever I was sick, they were there. When I was trouble, I was there. There's thousands of memories with them. They were good people, honest people. One of the stories I love that when I was young, I would go in and help them. And payday, it was no checks. It was all cash back then. They get this little brown envelope. You count the money out. This person is $67.28. Put it in the envelope. And I went through all the workers in the place, and I'm putting it in. And I'm done. And there's $500 laying on the table. And I said, what the fuck is that? So I told my mother and father. I said, I think the bank screwed up. We got an extra $500. It can't be. They took the envelopes, emptied them all out, started from scratch, put it back in. Sure enough, there was the 500. And I says, great, we got this. So my father says, no, we got to call the bank.
Wow.
Why would you call the bank? Bank's got tons of money. Let's just keep it. He said, no, there's a woman who works there and she takes care of me, a young girl. They'll think she stole it or she'll get in trouble. She might lose her job. And he calls the bank, him and my mother. Executive in the bank president, whatever he was, comes down. Thank you, Mr. Gravano. You're such an honest man, and this and that. The girl who she works with, and she's crying, thanking him. Me, I'm crying like a bastard, too, because I'm never going to see that 500. And I wanted that so bad. But, and I remember it now. You know, what a good moment they had and that they gave me. So that's important to me. There's a lot of certain things. There's Tato in the Mafia. He gave me great moments and advice and stuff that I will remember till the day I die. Even in business, when I talk to my girls or people who are working with me, I mean, there's a way to live your life and there's a way not to. And certain things you should do, certain things you shouldn't do, even when you really want to do the bad thing a whole lot.
What's left on your bucket list?
You know, I told the girls, and I'm a little mad at them, I wanted to drive a race car.
Yeah?
I really do. I want to go, there's a track out here in Arizona that you can rent the outfit, the car, and you go once or twice with the guy in the car.
Yeah.
He shows you what to do, how to do.
I'm a big car guy. I go to the track a lot. I
would love to try that.
All right, let's do it.
You know, I'm a fast driver, so I can do 80, 90, 100 on the road. No, I don't do it all the time, but I do it once in a blue moon. But I would love to see what the fuck it's like to do 150 miles an hour, 160 miles an hour on a racetrack. You know, those cars are pretty safe.
Yeah.
And I would love to feel that. You know, that's.
We're in town for a couple of days. We could set it up.
Yeah.
I would love to do that. That's so cool.
I would do it in a minute, bro.
All right, let's do it.
I really would. I would love to try it. You know, my reactions and stuff are still good. So
how are you so healthy?
I worked out all my life, and I think maybe the genes. I don't know, but I'm
cigars and coffee.
Cigars and coffee.
It's crazy.
But it works for me. I've been.
You
healthy.
diet well? Like you don't eat a lot, or?
I eat pretty good. Nothing crazy.
But you work out every day still?
No more now. I got a bad back. And
But you did for years.
In March, I'm 79 years old. But I go to the gym every day, and I take a shower, and I do a jacuzzi and stuff like that. I'll do some sit-ups and some push-ups. I got some little light dumbbells that I'll work with. I'll do some stretching. I did meditation when I was in prison doing that, you know. So sometimes I'll do some meditation, and I don't know. I mean, I'm in pretty good shape for my age. I know I go to the VA once in a while, and I see guys my age and during the Vietnam War, so they're my age in the 70s, upper 70s, maybe earlier.
Falling apart.
Oh my God, they can't even walk.
Can't walk.
You have no idea how many of them I ran over. Hey, Pop, you want me to help you? And I'm helping them.
Yeah.
And the guy says, "Oh, thank you, son. How old are you?" And I said, "I'm 78. I'll be 79." I'm older than him.
Wow.
The guy I'm helping. I can't even believe it. And one day when they first started with this pandemic bullshit and the shots and all of that, I was at the VA and they were saying that the shots are free. And I was walking out and I said, "You don't charge for the shots or nothing like that?" No. And they're reserved now. You have to be 65 and up to...
So even at your age, you didn't get the shot?
I never got the shots.
Wow.
I don't want the shots. I don't trust the whole thing. No. If I got the COVID virus, I was sick.
Were you scared?
No.
Wow.
I mean, I got it bad. I got it 3 days after I had it. I got pneumonia. 2 or 3 days after that, I got shingles. I thought I was going to die. I lost 22 pounds in less than 2 weeks. But I got better. It was like a cold. It's a cold. I don't need no shots for that. You know, I said to myself, let 100 million people take it and let's see what happens.
Call me later.
Yeah, call me later. I mean, maybe next flu I'll take it.
Yeah.
I ain't taking it. And then I find out all kinds of bad shit, so I ain't taking it. Cool. So anyway, you have to be 65. So I told the lady, okay, yeah, all right, so I could get it, but I don't want it now. I just want to know for myself. She said, no, you have to show proof. So she don't even believe I'm 65.
That you're 65? Oh, wow. They're asking you for ID?
This is what, a year ago? Yeah. So I'm fucking 76 or something like that. So I take out my proof. I says, here. She says, you're 7, whatever the fuck I was. You're 75, 76, whatever I was. I says, yeah. She says, unbelievable. I didn't even think you were 65.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. So that was a guy. I kissed her, of course.
You kissed on the mouth? It's your girlfriend now?
Yeah.
Well, hey, I want to appreciate you coming on the podcast. It was a really great conversation, and I hope we could, set up some day to do the track.
Listen, I would do that in a hot minute. I would appreciate that. I mean, and even if the car don't make it and you hit a fucking wall doing 180 miles an hour, I mean, what a way to go.
That's a good way. Yeah.
I mean, what the fuck? You don't even know what happened.
There you go.
And listen, this was a great interview. I think the world here, you're a pleasure to talk to. And I'm going to squire without trying to knock the things over.
I appreciate you.
All right, bro.
God bless you. Thank you.
Yeah, and I want to say that they, not only him, but they got a great team sitting here. And they bring these, and they know I love gorgeous women. They bring one here.
We're trying to
smile every once in a while.
If I would have known, I would have had 10. So we'll do a part 2.
No, I can't use 10. That's a way to go. I'll take 10.
Hey, I appreciate you. Thank you.
All right, bro.